We were at Bernie's for the holiday. A wedding or a birthday or a birthing party or something like that. I wasn't quite sure what it was and I didn't care. I know for sure that this was not a celebration or mourning of someone's death, since Bernie does not throw parties for this purpose. Anything else is a reason to party, but not to die. I think he feels that having a body lying around dampens the fun. The main reason I was there was the free food and drinks. More food than drinks as I was driving, and had to watch my intake. Since we were poor at that time, it was impossible to refuse free food. Besides, I liked Bernie, and Olivia, his wife, was a great actress. Well, she was definitely something special. One thing is for sure about Olivia. She was a tease, and quite mean at times. She would pick a victim and make sure he followed her around, no matter what party she was at, drooling and hoping, even though everyone knew he didn't have a chance. At this particular party, it dawned on me very quickly that I was the nominated victim. I wasn't having any of it, and either avoided her or just casually flirted back. About halfway through the evening, things got a little more serious. The backyard party was in full swing when I had a sudden urge to use the facilities. I went inside, did what I needed to do, and left the toilet. I was already returning to my place when I heard a noise above me and turned around to look. A completely natural thing to do. Olivia stood at the top of the stairs, about to go down. Standing at the bottom of the stairs and looking up at her, I could see what was under her skirt. Not that I was specifically looking, but what did you expect? Walk up any flight of stairs, and if there is a woman taller than you on the landing, you are looking at her dress. What you see depends on the length of the skirt or dress the woman is wearing. Olivia was wearing a short skirt, maybe a little short, but I'm not a fashion guru. It wasn't the same skirt she was wearing before, so I had to assume she had gone upstairs to change. Maybe a drink was spilled on her or something. Right now you're probably thinking about the stairs, the short skirt, and when you look up you see her panties. A noble way to tease and shine. You would be wrong. She had to be wearing panties for me to see her panties, and it turned out that she had forgotten this fact. The skirt was short enough and the light was strong enough that I could see everything, including the fact that she was clean-shaven. I could even see her tan lines, the sparkling whiteness of the untanned part that was clearly visible. I'm quite sure I didn't react at all. It's hard to react when you're suddenly paralyzed, and this paralysis gave me time to pull myself together, at least to a certain extent. I admit, I watched carefully as Olivia walked down the steps, her eyes sparkling at me the whole way. Walking down the stairs, she came up to me, lightly patted me on the cheek, and strutted towards the exit to join the party. It seemed to me that she had the triumphant look of a winner. I obediently followed her and also joined the party. I didn't follow Olivia around drooling, but I definitely knew where she was. I was also damn sure she knew where I was at all times. She seemed to just be a little annoyed at my lack of obvious drooling and took steps to try and rectify the situation. Several times throughout the evening, Olivia, without actually paying attention to me, managed to maneuver herself so that she was between me and the rest of the party. On the occasions when this happened, if there was no one behind her but me, she would find an excuse to lean forward or bend over, causing the back of her skirt to ride up and put me back in the frame. All this was done while acting modest and innocent. The party began to wind down, and the crowd slowly dispersed. Being a polite person, I hung around almost until the very end, helping to clean up a little. By a strange coincidence, I was actually the last one to leave. Olivia politely walked me to the door while Bernie got to work cleaning the barbecue grill. I've noticed this before with Bernie. In this sense, he is a little crazy. He can't relax until he sorts out all these little things. He'll probably stay there another half hour and then go to bed, satisfied that everything is done and there won't be any work waiting for him when he gets up the next morning. As Olivia walked me away with an innocent smile on her face, I pulled a little trick that surprised me. I never would have thought I would have the nerve. One hand slid to the side and turned off the outside light, With the other hand, I took Olivia's hand and forced her to come outside, too. The door closed behind us, but that was normal. Even if she was locked, which she most likely wasn't, she could have walked around the house to the back door. I turned her around and pressed her back against the wall. You, Olivia, are a teasing bitch. That's when you don't act like a fucking bitch. You teased me all evening long, you know? Even as I spoke, I reached down and lifted her dress up to her waist. One hand went down. I felt the heat and dampness as soon as I got down there. It's time for you to switch from the teasing part to the loving part, she laughed. Imagine this. She laughed. You're not serious, she told me. I caught her hand and lowered it down, hoping that she would feel my desire and agree to find a cozy and warm place to rest. Oh my God, she breathed. Are you crazy? Anyone can see us here. Not unless they have night vision goggles, and even then we'd be just a couple of green spots. Bernie, she breathed, but I interrupted her. I bet he doesn't know you were at that party without panties, I said. And he will clean for another half hour. Stop making excuses and put what you're holding in your hands where it belongs. Ha! She may have been looking for a reason to say no, but she still held tightly to her prize. God, I can't believe you're doing this, she breathed, throwing one leg over my waist. What kind of animal are you? She added, guiding me to the right position. Grateful, I assured her, decisively moving forward. She gasped and lunged forward towards me, helping me take her completely. Now you would think that, given the circumstances, I would be in a hurry to finish this. You would be wrong. I was in no hurry. I did not make any hasty, feverish movements. I took her firmly and steadily, enjoying the feeling of owning her. I don't know about winning the slow and steady race, but I had a lot of fun the whole way. Oddly enough, Olivia seemed to think otherwise. Oh, she did at first, rushing towards me at the pace I set, but as the moments passed, she seemed to want more, urging me to pick up the pace. Relax, I told her. Just accept it for what it is. No need to rush. She wanted to say, but I majestically ignored her. I was quite sure that Bernie was busy with something and would not interrupt me for a while. I was willing to take the risk, so why shouldn't she? While I maintained my confident and steady pace, I also did other things. My hands cupped her breasts, giving me more toys to play with. Olivia was slowly losing her mind, wanting me to finish, but at the same time wanting me to keep it up. I could tell by the way she pressed herself against me that she was caught up in her feelings, even as her brain tried to throw out reminders of where she was. Do you scream when you reach the finish line? I asked with interest, at the same time starting to move faster. An expression of horror flashed across her face. This led me to believe that, yes, she did scream when she climaxed, but she wouldn't dare do it this time. I smiled happily and quickened my pace a little more. Her mouth was tightly closed and she was making a mimph sound. She was ready, and so was I, so I picked up the pace one last time, for real. She put her hand over her mouth, but I still heard a much louder as she reached the climax of pleasure, squeezing me and taking everything I could give her. I pulled away, and she leaned against the wall for a few moments, breathing heavily. Then she hurriedly tidied up her clothes, opened the door, and slipped inside. I was slightly offended. Neither thank you nor good night, an obvious violation of good manners on her part. However, I am a merciful person and could ignore such behavior. It must be nice, I thought, heading home, to have such a loving wife. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.